Okay, now we have been working on the rise and fall of English. And what I mean by the rise and fall of English is that when native English speakers speak English, our tone will get high. It'll get to a high note, and then it will go to a low note. And this happens over and over in spoken English. And the reason it happens is that we use that change in pitch, going from a high pitch to a low pitch, to emphasize words. We also use it to mark the end of a sentence. And I've shown you that in another earlier video, which is linked to the description of this video. But I've only shown you it with statements. Statements are things like the sentence in the middle, where you're not asking a question, you're answering a question. So let's look at this statement here. The second sentence in the middle of the screen. I'm doing the laundry. And you see you rise and fall at the end of the sentence, the laundry, to indicate that you've reached the end of the sentence. Now, what I'll address in this video is whether that works with questions. And it does for questions that we sometimes call WH questions. Who, what, when, where, how. These are also called open questions because they're not yes-no questions. If somebody asks you, what are you doing, and you just say yes, that doesn't make any sense, does it? So these open questions, these WH questions that can't be answered with yes or no, also end on a rise and fall. So let's listen to this question. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm doing the laundry. What are you doing? I'm doing the laundry. And see, we have pretty much the same rise and fall on open WH questions and on statements. And the rise and fall is very common in English. Just about every sentence type will have it, but there is an exception. For yes-no questions that really can be answered by yes or no, we have just a rise at the end of the sentence. So let's look at this third sentence here. Do you want to go fishing? And notice, fishing, my voice gets very high at the end. There's a rise, but there's no fall. So let's mark that. Do you want to go fishing? And there, we have that rise at the end. And this is very useful because if you're listening to a lecture, either in the TOEFL or in an English language setting, you can tell what kind of question is being asked of you. It also works in English conversation. Maybe you're having trouble keeping up with your speaking partner, which even happens to native English speakers. If you hear that rising tone, even if you didn't understand all the words, you'll know that you're being asked a yes-no question. So that's a good pitch to listen for. So again, what are you doing? I'm doing the laundry. Do you want to go fishing? And see, we have that rise, fall, but that just a rise on the yes-no questions. So that's it for this video. I hope it's been very helpful. You can see a link to the Magoosh TOEFL blog and a number of other related links in the description of this video. Thank you, as always, for following my work here on YouTube and over at magoosh.com/TOEFL.